Right, let's get into this little jobby and have a look and work out how he comes apart. Now, I have found out that it does turn on and off via the lid. And if we open our lid, there's a little peg on our door that goes in there, apparently. Now, I've got to investigate this. This is not a familiar radio for me. I do have another one for parts, but I haven't investigated fully. But down here, it looks like there's been a peg there or something, but it's broken off. So there's something we're going to have to, if I can find the camera. So it looks like he's been broken off there. And apparently, I'll turn this around, he goes into that little hole there. So, and there's a leaf switch or something like that. But anyway, we'll investigate that. Now, let's get the back off and start doing something with this fella. First of all, we'll get the chassis out and evaluate everything that we've got to do with it. Okay, so that's our battery holder for our two D batteries, I think, go in these. So there's that. Now this, I think, by the look of that, has been worked on before. So I'm really not sure what's happened here. So it's a matter of let's have a look, see. Now, with the radio itself, I've got a power supply here that will do 63 volts. So we'll probably, 67.5, sorry. And we'll do that, and we'll probably try and fire this up. But first of all, I'll get the chassis out of the cabinet, and we can inspect, check out things like our speaker transformer, and see what this is all about there. Now, I'm not real sure about all that. That, to me, rings a few alarm bells. But the rest of it, well, okay, let's get it out. So, I'm thinking that there is 4 screws, knobs, just pull off. And there we go. Take our 4 screws out. Just get him here where you guys can see what's going on. And I have also downloaded a schematic and alignment details on this, which I will share with you very shortly. These screws are loose, which is also a bit of a worry. Okay, here we go. We have a loop aerial in these, which is in behind here. One side is here, which is ground. Okay, on this wire here, let's disconnect him. That's the ground side of our loop. And we've got our antenna side, which is around here on our tuning gang. Now, I'm not real sure whether that's where it goes. I'm just taking this off at the moment. Okay, so that's our radio out, our chassis out. Grill cloth is really, really good. Rest of the case is very good. Now, there is a little switch here. Now, I'll give you a look at that. I might have to zoom this camera in a little bit, but there's our switch. And when the lid closes, pushes that fella in. There you go. Got a lot of investigation around here. Okay, speaker looks good. It has had a split, which I'll put some liquid electrical tape on. It is actually split there again, so we'll have to do something with that. He appears to move. I think he's okay. Tuning. All seems to work okay there. Yeah, just that's very rough on the tuning, so yeah, a little bit to work out here. The tuning gang didn't go fully one way because our B plus lead from our B battery was down in there and fouling the tuning gang. So I'm pretty sure now, if we do that, yep, and he's actually still hitting on that fella. So they've got to be, yeah, moved right down out of the way. But yeah, our tuning gang, there's no problems there. Okay. We do have an Arts and P right in. Wait, can you see it with the camera? He's in there. There he is. We'll try and get a little bit better light for you. There. That's a bit better. Okay. Arts and P. There's his number. And I'd say just patent numbers and so forth in there. All right. So there he is. This capacitor, the electrolytic. I don't know why that's floating in the breeze. It actually is still in circuit. It just floats around. Hang on a minute here. It may be. This may have been rebuilt. Not sure. 20 mic, 200 volt. So maybe this has been repacked. I really don't know. All right. Well, I don't know whether to start this thing up. I guess we will. This setup here, I don't know. But yeah, we will. We'll put 67 volts on here, and we'll put 1.5 on our heaters and see if we get any sound out of it before we take the tubes out or before we do anything with it. So let's do that. Sit him here, and you never know, he might do something. Let's try it. Righto, we've got our multimeter on our battery line, which should come up to 67. We'll turn our volume down I have 1.5 on the filaments, which is drawing about 200 milliamps, 200 or 300 mil there at the moment. 200 mil, something like that. And we'll switch on HT. Right, 67.9 volts. We'll back that off just a little bit. And we've got 67.5 coming out of our power supply. Okay. Hook him up here. We have no audio at all. No current draw. Nothing at the moment. We've got 64. And we have absolutely no sound. Okay. Let's tip him up and see what we can find. Now, as far as these valves, I've got no idea whether their filaments are okay. We'll give the volume control a tickle and see is in nothing there. Nothing. Okay. Now, this little, I'll just get this back over. Let's check out a couple of things here. I'll bring us in on the picture here so you can see what I'm doing. And we'll try and give us a better image there. Okay. I'll just zoom you in a little bit on that, on the picture. Yeah, we'll put you there. That's a little bit better. Now, let's see what we've got here. We do have voltage. We've got some bias there. Our electrolytic is in amongst this. We've got high voltage there. I think this switch, I don't understand this switch. It looks like it's on all the time. Ah, yes, it is on all the time. That's correct. So we've got 1.3 there and our high voltage there. So that's our battery line to the filaments, and this is our HT. So that is all correct. Now, the speaker transformer. Let's have a look at circuit and where it all goes to. Okay, now as you can see, speaker transformer up here, and it goes to the plate of the 3S4. So we'll trace that transformer. Now I'm not real sure what coloured lead that is. Okay, so the transformer actually comes here. Well, it's supposed to. We better do a bit more investigation on this, I think, before we go any further. There's something wrong with our wiring here somewhere. Just going to have to study up a little bit of the wiring on this. Get rid of these. No, well, not get rid of them at the moment, but yeah, there's certainly nothing happening here at the moment. This setup here, I've got to find out what this is.
Well guys, you wouldn't believe this. I've lost a heap of audio out of this clip. Now what I'm doing there at the moment, I'm pulling the speaker and the speaker transformer out. I've just disconnected the wires, just having a look around, just showing you what I'm going to take out. There's 4 screws there for the speaker. Really sorry about the audio. I don't know what's happened. The USB mic just dropped out and I'm just doing a voiceover on this one. So I will talk along while I'm watching myself work, which is a rather unique experience. I haven't tried this before, but it all looks pretty good. Okay, the 4 screws are out there. So we just lift the speaker out. The transformer is actually soldered onto the speaker. As you can see there, the speaker wire is directly soldered on directly from the transformer. So you will see I will just unsolder when I just in the picture. That's better. I'll just unsolder the transformer lead, and the transformer itself's on a little bracket that sits just on the back of the speaker and is also clamped on. Don't know how good this speaker's going to be. Looks okay, but initially I thought it was a little bit crunchy, a little bit the voice cord catching, but probably not. Just checking the transformer there. The speaker, yes, as I've said, there's a couple of little holes in it that need some liquid electrical tape on them. So I will be patching him up and checking him out fairly soon, possibly on the next video. I hope we don't have to find another speaker that suits, but anyway, I do have one of these wrecked for parts, and the speaker is good in it, so we do have some spare parts. Okay, now I'll just talk amongst myself. As you can see, now I'm going to check with the multimeter when Baz is ready to put the meter in. There we go. Now you can see what I'm doing. Checking the speaker out with resistance and 2.2 ohm. Now I'm not real sure about what the impedance is in those speakers. I thought it'd be close to about 3.5, maybe even 6 ohm for an 8 ohm speaker. Nothing seems to be written anywhere. I can't find out any information on that. Okay, so there's a couple of holes there to patch up, certainly. once I go over them with a little bit of electrical tape, which is available from Techo Electronics in Australia. It's just liquid electrical tape, very good for little jobs like that. Now let's check the primary winding of the transformer, the speaker transformer. And we should see, about 300 ohm there. So that's looking good. Now here I have decided to remove the valves before I do too much work on this radio. There's a lot of work to do on this one, by the way. I'm just going to remove the valves, but number them 1, 2, 3 and 4, or just put a dot on them with a texter, just so I know from the left hand side there we go 1, that one's the second one, then the third, then the fourth. So yeah, that's just there were a couple of valves, I'll explain that. There was a couple of valves that didn't have the numbers on them, and they look very similar when you've got them out, and very easy to mix up when you're putting them back in. So likes of that one, there is no numbers on that. So yeah, I put some dots on them, as you will probably see in a moment. Okay, I will put some dots on them now, just so I know which is 1, 2, 3 and 4. I also have another new set of valves for this little radio. My valve tester doesn't test these valves. It does some of the 1 volt, 1.5 volt filaments, but not these particular ones. So I can't measure them as to how good they are until we get the unit going. But as I said, I've got some new ones. That's a 1R5, which is your first RFM, and I think it's the mixer as well. I'm just going by sight. I'm looking at this video at the moment, explaining to you what I'm doing. This is certainly a different perspective for me. I hope these videos don't get too boring. There is bits and pieces where things don't quite undo properly or go properly, which I do cut out. But very minimal is cut out of my videos. I try and keep it as original as possible. Okay, in that corner there, that is that's a mess. I'm just chasing that cap, and certainly looks like it's a problem. It's been restuffed or hasn't been put back properly. At the moment, I don't know the story. You'll have to wait and find out. But believe me, the story's interesting. I'm taking that capacitor out now, actually. There's a fair bit of the wiring that I'm taking out. And yes, there's the bottom of the capacitor. I sort of couldn't believe this when I saw it. It's a shame I've lost the audio on this. But there's the remnants of the old capacitor. And I thought, well, this is fairly interesting. The insides of this capacitor have to come out no matter what. just to check out is it anything been done, or is it leaked out, or what? I didn't know at this stage. Mind you, there's no bottom on the cap, and there was no mounting at all. The mount was gone. All I'm left with there was 2 leads going into the can. Now, let's see what's inside. There we are. And yes, there's a new cap in there. Now, I have restuffed quite a few caps over the years. I've never actually wrapped the new caps in the foil of the old one. This is a fairly new idea for me. I don't think I'd recommend that idea. It would have been nicer to keep the bottom of the cap and keep the mount so that it could be mounted properly. But check this out. That's pretty amazing that someone has actually gone to that trouble and that is really restuffing the cap, isn't it? It's putting the old cap back in there. And there he is. 2, well, hopefully fairly good electros. Now the capacitor was a 20 microfarad. The value on that cap is they're both 10 mics in parallel. So we're looking at 20 mic there, and they're I'm pretty sure they're 400 volt caps. Let's have a look, see. Yeah. There we go. How's that for a modification, guys? They're actually 450 volt caps. So yeah, 20 mic at 450 volts. And seeing the radio runs on 67.5, and there it is, a C16. Now I think with the radio running on a 67.5, I think a 450 volt cap is a little bit of an overkill. I will be putting in probably, I'll see what I've got in stock, but probably a couple of, probably a 22 mic and a 160 volt will be amples for there. So there it is, C16. And that's a 200 volt peak, the original. So yeah, the caps had plenty of leeway, but I wasn't real keen on how the whole thing was done. Certainly not. It was fairly good keeping the originality of the whole thing, but the bottom's missing, and the mount. You can't just set a cap in mid-air like that. So yeah, very interesting way of restuffing a cap. I thought you guys would be interested in that, actually. That's why I've left a fair bit of that in there. Okay, let's get on with the next bit, which is this horrible little tag strip with a couple of resistors, and I mean, there's the wiring. I don't know. There must have been lots of techs worked on this before me. And yeah, it's not real good. So the resistor in question there is R9, which is actually I think it's an 800 ohm, and yeah, there it is there, R9, it's 800 ohm, and whoever the last tech was has got two 390s there in series. So yeah, I do have some older 800 ohm resistors, so they'll be going, and just standard one resistor there. One big thing here was the blobs of solder. They were just everywhere. They were big, ugly, lots and lots of solder around. Resistors had been hit with the soldering iron, and yeah, as you saw by the pictures. So they're the two resistors out of there, and that resistor also goes in line, I think it's to a grid. Just looking at this, I'll probably show you the circuit in a minute. It's a little bit hard here to explain everything when I'm just watching the video, the same as you guys, because I lost the stupid audio. I hope this mic sounds okay I'm using. Now, the resistor in question is a grid feed for and that's him there, R8. It comes off the HT, off the minus actually. This is your bias. And if we look at him there, he's 2.5 meg. Now the resistor in there, believe it or not, was a 10 meg. Not a 2.5. That's what threw me for a little bit, and I thought, well, surely it's you can't mistake a 2.2 for a 10. But yes, it. I'll just give it a hit there with the multimeter, if I can. Yeah, I missed that, guys. Sorry. Missed the camera, but it was 10 meg, and it's actually a 2.2. Sets up your grid bias. Okay, and I'm just explaining there where it is in the circuit, I guess, and what it does. So that resistor will certainly be going. And I will be replacing the 2.5 with a 2.2 meg. These are all quarter watt resistors. It's very, very small amounts of current here. Just removing the resistor. I have also lifted the lead on quite a few caps there to get them out of the road so that I could get in under there and do a bit of cleaning up. And taking lots and lots of pictures and hoping that I can remember how all this goes back together when it comes to putting the caps in. Also, I'd like to thank you guys for subscribing, the people that have done so far. Boy, I didn't think I'd have that many subscribers, but I hope you're enjoying what I do. I repair just about anything. Been a tech since I was 15 years old, so I will have a go at anything. Started with car radios back then. And yeah, have a look at this. Look at that. That's just one big blob of solder. And this chassis I wanted to clean up fairly well. This is going to be the ultimate rebuild of a little battery set. So I wanted this in pretty smick order, which meant, yeah, lots of cleaning up on the chassis. As you can see, lots and lots of solder. It's looking better already. Check out the amount of solder that come off that one joint. Now here I just I do this anyway. I just clean up the old solder off the chassis because I'll be cleaning the chassis fairly well. Combination of brake cleaner I use, automotive brake cleaner, methylated spirits, probably finish it off with some isopropyl alcohol. But yeah, we can get it fairly good. There's a little spot of rust in the corner there, which I will be doing as well. But considering it had leaking batteries in it, that's the only rust that's in there at the moment, which is pretty good. Sometimes that can be not real good. Now I'm going to take the volume pot out, so I'm just cleaning the contacts on it and just cleaning the whole thing up. Going to take the pot out, I'm going to take the back off and clean it, make sure it's okay. It's a little bit tight to turn, so just lube him up, put some spray inside and make sure that he works okay. And as you can see, there's the remnants of all the the extra solder that was in there. Whoever worked on this last really liked putting plenty of solder on everything. Now here I'm just explaining that I'm going to remove this valve socket because in actual fact there's a pin there that I'm just taking the wires off, but there's a pin that wants to drop through. It's been hit with the soldering iron really hard and it's melted into it. So the only way of fixing that, what is it, a 3S4 valve socket is to replace the damn thing. There's no way out. And it's, yeah, not the job I wanted to do at that stage, but I'm still dragging out pieces of wire and solder and everything that had been in there. I do have some new 7-pin valve sockets in the workshop, so it was a no-brainer just to change the socket. Now I'm just having a look there on the pin numbers of the thing. So from the right hand side of those numbers it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 around. I wasn't real sure whether they were numbered like that. Sometimes they're not, they're random numbers depending on the circuit, but this one does go from right, from the index, which is pin 1, around to 7. So what you're seeing on the circuit is exactly the same as what you're looking on the valve base if you're doing one of these. Here I'm just removing some more wires. I did pause there for a moment to take some pictures so that I can see where everything goes, but at this stage I wasn't real sure whether to remove the socket or not, but yeah, closer inspection I thought definitely this needs a new socket. All the rest are quite good, but whoever the last tech was really liked working in this area and liked a lot of heat, so it sort of burnt everything. Just getting the resistors out there. It was a little bit hard to use the solder sucker just in that situation, so I'm just using the braid. And as you can see, there's the pin that keeps falling out. He pushes straight in because there's a very big hole in the bottom of him. There's nothing to hold the clip. Okay, I'm starting to decide now. Yes, it's got to come out. Soldered at one side, which was an aluminium frame, so the solder didn't actually stick to the valve socket framework, and it had some sort of little horrible rivet on the other side, so there wasn't much holding this in actually. So it was a matter of unsoldering. As you can see there, it's a bit of a mess, and you can see the damage that's been done with the pin there. I'm taking the excess solder off the side of this thing. It was lots and lots of solder, but yeah, solder doesn't like sticking to aluminium. And as you can see around the other side, well, there wasn't much holding with the little rivet. Hardly anything. It come off very easily. And there we go. Sockets out. And I guess I'm just giving you a closer look of the actual socket itself. The actual chassis is starting to look a little bit cleaner already with its cleaning up. There's a little bit of rust on the top there, and it also went through that corner hole to the underneath side, but yeah, that's basically the worst bit of the rust. As you can see there, lots and lots more solder. Using the same technique there just to remove the solder from the top of the chassis. Probably me being too particular, but I like it nice and clean. And I clean it up. Okay, there's the underneath. Just a matter of cleaning him up a little bit in there, and now we'll take the volume pot out and do something with him as well. And we're also, I date this radio at about 1948, 47-48. So that's how old he is, and it'll be lovely sitting on the shelf. And of course, working. Anything that sits on my shelf has to work. That's a 1 meg pot. It is a linear pot. It's not a log, and fairly hard to turn. So yeah, just showing you there that just those little tags, we're just going to undo the back. Just a matter of getting a pair of cutters in underneath those little tags. I think I do try it with a screwdriver here in a moment, but it just did not work. So R4 there you saw on the circuit diagram, and it is a 1 meg ohm pot. So, or volume control as we call it. Excuse me. So that is the 1 meg, that is the original potentiometer from it. So I was just checking to make sure it was that was original and hadn't been something else put in there. Time to clean up. Just showing you the bit of the rust, what's in here. There's quite a few of these little radios around, so I'm hoping that this will help some of you guys. I mean, I go to an extent of cleaning and rebuilding, but you don't have to do all stuff like this just to get them going. This is a full restoration, so it has to be, in my mind, spot on. But yeah, if you see things that you think, gee, I didn't know, that did that or that was like that, well, yeah, I just hope that these videos can help you. And from time to time, I certainly watch other people's videos, like Mr. David Tipton's, like Don's Radio Shed. My word, don't miss those. And of course we've got Shango in the background and Mr. Carlson, so we certainly keep an eye on them. And there's lots and lots of tips and tricks from all those, especially Mr. Tipton. Cabinet work, wow, next level. Yeah, way ahead of me there. I use those cotton buds quite a lot. They're a long shaft bud, and they're just good for getting in little spots like this. I tend to use metho most of the time, methylated spirits. It's cheap and it does a good job. I also use brake cleaner from Super Cheap Auto. So it does a very good job on anything that's oily or greasy. Cleans it off nicely. And now I'm onto the top, just doing a bit of cleaning up. These are the boring bits of the video. I won't bore you with this. You can see what I'm doing, see what's got to be done. Let's skip to the next bit. Okay, this is what I use, Rust Buster, Ranex Rust Buster, and it's just a sort of a cleaner, and it also penetrates the rust pretty well. So I dab it on the rust, leave it for a few hours, and it does its job. It also cleans the metal up fairly well. That one's that particular one I got from Bunnings, but there's lots of other places that sell similar products. I've used this for quite a while. I started using it on my first rebuild, actually, my first video, which has certainly got some big views on it. And that was a Chrysler 6-volt Chrysler. And that's had lots and lots and lots of views. So if you want to check out somewhere to start on a rebuild that looks impossible, that's, yeah, check out that video. It was a pretty heavy video, that one. Okay, there we go. We're just going to leave that for now. I think I actually left this overnight with the rust preventative and let it do its job. Radio's looking a bit skinny with some parts missing there. But now I've come in a little bit later on. This is the socket I'm using. It's actually new, and it's been used with 2 wires for some reason or another. But the socket itself is brand new. Probably wired it to check a filament or something like that on a valve at one stage, long time ago. So here I'm just checking, I did have photos, but just checking the orientation of the way it come out, and quite easy to check because one side had the rivet in it.
Our valve base, I was going to do a little bit of wiring on it, just the bits and pieces. Cause these to come undone. And it's a matter of getting the nut started, isn't it? Put a screwdriver in the middle and try and flick him with my finger. And that's not working either. Come on. There we go. Right. My chocks under thing, pieces of foam. If you're ever doing this, and with radios, just cut yourself up some blocks of foam, and it makes some really good little chocks to put under things, well, like this, when they won't sit straight. Okay, he's in. Looks a bit better than the other fella that was in there. Now, I'm going to leave that one that length. I could cut it off, but it's probably not necessary in there. He's out of the road. This one I will be cutting off, but after I put the little tab on him. I'm just using a transistor, an old style transistor collector tab that we used to put on the trannies, or sort of an earth lug. And there he is, just a little lug, just to make soldering easier, that you're not soldering onto the chassis. I think I can fit the capacitor just in here, or maybe on top. Haven't worked that one out yet. Maybe on top with a little strap over him. We've got the 2 tie points there, so yeah, we'll have a look at him shortly. And now we can do the earth lead and another wire here on our valve socket. Yes, well guys, just get the light in the right spot there. The further I delve into this, the more I'm ripping out parts and trying to read the circuit of where everything goes. Now, there was a resistor here that went to ground. And I thought I'll remove him off the ground because I want to replace this white lead with a yellow lead, which is your plus of your filament, or plus 1.5 volts. So yeah, I didn't want the white left in there, plus I wanted to clean up around here. So I thought, okay, lift this resistor up. Now this resistor is on pin 6 of the 1S5. Let's show you here. Okay. This is pins 7 and 6, and that's the resistor we're after at the moment. It goes to ground, R5. Now, R5 on our list is 10 meg. Okay, so what I did here, can I squeeze, bring my camera sideways. Okay, there you go. Okay, let's measure him. Well, while we're here, we'll now measure the next thing, which is this resistor. And there it is. And you can see that it gradually increases. Starts off at about 6.5 meg, gradually increases, but doesn't sort of get to 10. So, yeah, that resistor's going. I don't know whether he's absorbing moisture from the air as to why it's moving, but we're up to 9 meg, but still, that's not good enough. And I do have another 10 meg here, so if we measure this 10 meg, there we go, 10.68, so, and steady. So there we go. So that resistor has to go. But first of all, I'll just get him out of the road and replace this wire. Then we'll put that resistor back in so I don't get too far ahead of myself and forget where everything goes. I've also got a cap here that we've got to chase up at the moment. Okay, let's do that. Right, now what we've done, we've replaced the yellow wire. There was a capacitor here, a little 100 picofarad that let's show you. Now, it's this fella here, C13. Now, it's just 100 picofarad to ground. Nothing wrong with him. I lifted him up, checked it, and it's dead on 100 picofarad. But he was all grotty and horrible and had some horrible heat shrink on it, so I've taken him off, took the old heat shrink off, made him look a little bit nicer, and rearranged our 10 meg to ground here across there. So that's more or less all I've done so far. The next thing I think we'll start. I replaced this black wire that comes from that point at the 100 picofarad. It goes over to the volume control. Now, if we look here, C13, and it goes down to one end of the volume pot. So yeah, and we've got to check this resistor as well, which is 2. So obviously on a some sort of AGC line there, or it looks a bit of a strange arrangement here with the loop. So I'm not real sure about this one, but anyway, that's that was him. C13 goes to the one side of the volume pot. That black wire was pretty ordinary. It was burnt and so forth. So now it's time to remove a little bit of rust just here, and then let's say we check this fella out and see what he's like. What I noticed, there's another yellow wire that goes from the battery to the switch. I'm going to replace him as well. Okay, well, we're going to leave the radio for a while now, and I'll probably split this video about now. So this may be the next part of the video, volume control.
Well guys, that's certainly long enough for this video. It's a little bit over an hour, and I didn't think it'd be this long for this one. But anyway, on the next one we'll look at the volume control, volume potentiometer, and see how he looks inside him, and carry on a little bit more with this radio. It's taking quite some time. So okay, if you like what I do, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, click the bell, you know the drill. And until the next video, which probably won't be too long on this subject, we'll catch you soon. Bye for now.